for black America, it's just another year. You knew the disrespect by your elected puppeteers, but let me show you how to persevere.
What's going on, everybody? What's good? If you don't know who I'm playing right now, I got Pharrell Williams with Jay-Z on his song Entrepreneur. It's a single out. This came out this year. Pretty cool jam. Actually, were people playing this on, like, you know, walking around boom boxes at the March on Washington. I heard this song a few times, so it's kind of cool.
He's definitely just a person that we need to get my flowers to, because she puts out some really dope stuff.
Pharrell Williams?
Yes.
Yeah, Pharrell dope. Yeah.
This could be as big as Happy if it wanted to be.
Yeah. I know there's a couple people that said, yeah, listen to a few songs niggas killing it, but I mean, I was actually feeling it the first time I heard it. I like it.
I like the whisperness.
Yeah. Yeah, cool little bop. What's good, everybody? Shout yourself out. Drop your city so we can shout you out in the comments. Whether you're watching this on Facebook or IG. Shorty Slugger, what's good? That means Texas is in the building. Y'all should check out, y'all should follow Shorty Slugger on IG. She's also a gamer. Slugger, where you at? Are you on Mixer now, or are you on Twitch? Throw down your Twitch information so we can tell people where they can go find you. We do need black gamers, and Slugger is a black gamer. She gets down in Call of Duty and Apex. Yeah, that's what's up. I see you throwing it up. That's what's up. Yeah, let's go. Alright, we got Mamie Altar in the house. Shout out Clarksville, Tennessee in the building. Alright. Look, it's your boy J.D. Costa.
It is your girl Katniss.
And together we are the Nitty Gritty. Oh, thank you, Slugger. Shorty said you're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Alright, so y'all can find Slugger at twitch.tv/S_Shorty_S_Slugger. Go check her out, y'all. We got black gamers out there that be getting down. We got to support every facet of the things we do. So this is dope. Yeah, that Jay-Z verse go hard too. He's spitting real knowledge on that one too. You know what I'm saying? So we're about to get into the show. Before we go, let me switch up I got my background music already queued up and everything. I'm getting better at this as time goes by.
Has to have this background music, but okay.
No, you gotta have like background swag. Yeah, it's Clarksville in the house. Herman, I see you.
You just like it.
Huh?
You don't have to. You just like it.
No,
hey, Charisma! Welcome to the Nitty Gritty.
Hey, what's up? What city?
Cleveland.
Shout out Cleveland. Of course, Cleveland gonna be in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Cleveland Heights, rather.
Cleveland Heights. I'm down with the Heights. I've been down there a few times. I like Cleveland. Cleveland's okay.
Let's get into it.
Get a po' boy or something like that. See, I'm kind of knowing.
That's not what it's called.
What is it called?
A Polish boy.
A Polish boy?
Get your life. You're embarrassing me right now. You're embarrassing me. Get your life, Polish boy.
Okay. So yeah, let's get into it. So current news on the Nitty Gritty show. Let's talk about Versus. Brandy and Monica. That's tomorrow at, I believe, 8 p.m.
Yep.
If you want to know for sure, all you do is go to @VersusTV on IG. You can find out more information there. But I think that's going to be quite entertaining. It's nice to have another set of ladies. So far, I think they've only had 3 women on Versus. That's Alicia Keys when she went against John Legend. And then, of course, we had 2 other beautiful queens. We had Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. That was definitely a bop. That was a good time. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Versus... for one, created by 2 brothers, producers out of hip hop, Swiss Beats and Timbaland, and they have become like the premium concert series of COVID outside of D-Nice. I know there's been some other people that have done things, but I mean, Versus has had everything from Fred Hammond to Kirk Franklin to Erykah Badu to Jill Scott, from Lil Jon and T-Pain to Bonta Killer and Beanie Man. So
well, just let us know in the comment section who you're rooting for, Brandy or Monica. I'm rooting for Brandy. If you're a singer, you just gotta know that Brandy is dope.
Brandy's a better singer, but I think Monica got better hits that we'll bop to. I think Monica might get Brandy up out of there, but we'll see.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like when I listen to a Brandy song, well, as a singer ear, when I'm listening to a Brandy song, there's so much to unpack. I'm rewinding it like, whoa, did you hear that run? Wait, she stacked it. Wait, the melodies. Wait, is that 8-part harmony? Hey. Like I have to unpack it all.
I feel you on that. But at the same time, you gotta have them toe tappers. And I don't know if
and she
got toe
has the
tappers.
tones.
I don't know if she got toe tappers though.
She had them hits in the 90s, bro.
Like Nas is a rapper, but he don't got no toe
Remember
tappers.
she had sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top
I mean,
of
she got
the
some
world.
jams out there though.
Remember and the every time you build me up, you always let me down. Anybody
Y'all hear Cat singing, y'all?
almost doesn't count. So she got some hits.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, but you know, I'm just saying, Monica got them toe tappers, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, knock knock, you know, and all that good stuff. I mean, toe tappers.
Okay.
So anyways, also really important, reflecting upon voting, ballot requests have been going out into the mail. So please be checking your mail. The voters boards of your particular state may be sending our information. I know me and Kat received ours from Maryland, so that we can request to have a mail-in ballot. So if you haven't seen that information, be on the lookout for it. You want to get those kind of things in early so you can cast your vote. And if you're worried about your vote not being counted or properly mailed in to the proper authorities, I would say make sure that you cast it in a affluent neighborhood where you know they're going to get their mail. Okay, that's just my bit of information. Also in current news, if we're talking sports, Lakers and Clippers so far, I think they're the only teams, but they have decided to opt out of finishing the NBA season. I know that if you look at the schedule, they still have TBD, like to be determined. But from everything I read, the Lakers nor the Clippers have any intention on finishing out the season. So this will be interesting. Big up to LeBron and AD and all those guys, because I believe the Lakers are on their way to a championship.
Thanks, Ma. I try from time to time.
And for her to be like, hey, or for them to be like, oh, we don't care about that as much as we care about activism and Black lives. That's
right.
Big to them. I feel like the last athlete that I can recall, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, keep me honest, that I recall that really sacrificed significantly in the height of their athletic career is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
When he decided he wasn't going to Vietnam and would rather risk going to jail, having his belt stripped away, his freedom stripped away, before he participated in a war that he felt like black men had no part in being in.
Right.
And that's his citizens' right to have those feelings, right? According to our own government and constitution. So big up to anybody that will risk money and fame and status for the things they believe in, because that means they're really willing to lay it down on the line, and that's dope.
Right.
So we got more current news, but it kind of leads into a bit of discussion, so we just gonna get right down to the nitty gritty. We gotta talk about Chadwick Boseman passing away, 42 years old.
From colon cancer.
Yep, colon cancer. And I'll be honest, you guys, that was really, I'm not like an emotional person, but that was very sad news to hear. I was heartbroken, it was just kind of like, man, like this guy put out a decent body of work in a short period of time, and he was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2016. I believe at the time they said it was stage 3. Keep in mind, he went on to make the following movies: Message from the King, that was a Netflix movie. He made Gods of Egypt, where he had kind of a smaller role there, but still he was in Gods of Egypt. That was the one that a lot of us didn't watch because they had people like Gerard Butler acting like he was an Egyptian god, and Gerard Butler is as Irish as they get. So once again, when we talk about representation in movies, the movie wasn't very well followed because most of the main actors were white with very prominent Nordic features, and that doesn't really represent the time or the people who even currently live in that region that they were trying to portray. So it's once again whitewashing woes to benefit, I guess, the masses to enjoy. That's just whack. So anyways, he was in that movie though. Also, he was in Captain America: Civil War. He then did Marshall. He did Black Panther. Then he did also the following Avengers movies: Infinity War and Endgame. Then he did 21 Bridges, and then he did The Five Bloods, the Spike Lee joint that also went to Netflix. And in all those movies, he's doing, outside of maybe Marshall, but the rest of the movies, he's doing a significant amount of physical acting there, where he's doing some of his stunts and things of that nature, and the whole time he has stage 3 colon cancer. And then to make it more so remarkable, he did his speech at Howard during that time. He did the awarding speech to Denzel Washington, where we find out for the first time that he said if there would be no Black Panther if it was for Denzel Washington, because Denzel Washington is one of the people that was asked, I think it was by Oprah, to sponsor a black thespian or someone going into the arts, and he ended up sponsoring Chadwick Boseman. And Denzel told a funny story about how he had told Chad, "Yeah, I want my money back," because I know it worked out. He was saying it jokingly, but still very inspirational. And he had a lot of people in Hollywood respecting him. You never heard any bad thing about Chadwick Boseman. His attitude on the set, or how he related to other actors, and then the stuff that he did within society, you can only commend it all. So definitely hats off to him. I think what was sad, and I want you to kind of chime in here, I think what was sad is when he was losing weight, and I didn't even realize he was getting so much criticism. I just remember when we watched, I think he was on LeBron's the barbershop show on HBO where they had their conversations. And I remember he was looking a little small, but I just thought, oh, he must be getting ready for a role. Mm-hmm. That was literally, and even Kat was like, yeah, he looks a little small at the time, but we never really thought, it never came to our mind to tease him or to think something negative. My first thought was, yeah, maybe he's just getting ready for a role. Because, we've seen various artists do that before, where they lose a lot of weight for a role, or they get ready for a role, so I just assume he's probably losing weight for a role. Mm-hmm. Even if I had seen some of the other pictures that have surfaced now of him being so small and so frail at the time, even then my first thought would be maybe he's getting ready for a role, because 50 Cent had did the same thing. He got really small like that for a role. So I think that's horrible how social media, now they kind of get to eat a lot of crow basically, because he had to disable the comments and stuff like that on his videos because he was being ridiculed and teased that bad. In his final days, he had to deal with social media accosting him because of the way he looks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's sad.
He had to disable his comments?
Had to disable the comments on a lot of his videos and things like that. He made a post for Jackie Robinson, and when he did, people saw how small he was, and the first thing they did was light him up in the comments. Like, are you on drugs? You on that stuff? How you supposed to be a superhero? That that's the evil crap that the internet comes up with.
Probably from black folks.
Probably was a lot of them. That's the sad part.
Oh gosh, I don't even know what to say. I didn't know it was that I was getting teased that bad.
Yeah.
I just know that when I heard that he died, I definitely was affected, and I definitely shed a few tears. Like, I was just like, wow, like the Black Panther, like, a black icon, somebody who was on his way. Someone who, Hollywood had deemed the next Denzel is dead, on top of hearing that 2 black men had gotten shot, one in Louisiana that had died, one in Wisconsin was in critical condition, on top of a pandemic, on top of a political war. For me, it was just really heavy. It was just like, I'm working hard as a black woman, and, I'm starting to, think to myself, like, will I ever be able to experience the American dream? Like, everything that I love or value has been teared down. And we see that in history. I think that him dying represented the little bit of hope that black people do have. I don't know why, but it's always like it's snatched from us. Like, we had Dr. King, he died. We had Malcolm X, he died. When black people finally were free, they weren't able to afford a livelihood because, they had to pay back, their slave masters. And I can go on and on and you guys know. So it was like he represented hope for us. And then to see and hear that he had died, it's just like, man, will I ever be able to experience being a free black woman, dark skin, natural hair, being able to bring my full self to work, nobody judging me, being able to be deemed just as beautiful as the next with straight hair. Mm-hmm. I hate to get deep like that, but you start to think about those kind of thoughts, really.
Yeah, and and the thing is, there's some people, they may not understand, like, why are black people so affected by this actor dying, and why are they putting so much? Even and there were, and I'll be curious to know what those people think now, because there are people I had conversations with, like, black people are overreacting. Why are people dressing up to the movie? But it meant more than just a movie. It was symbolic in so many ways. Just small victories mean a lot for people, right? And that's that symbol of saying, like, yeah, a black superhero. You know what I'm saying? A pure superhero, not a vigilante, because we have the Blade movies, and don't get me wrong, Wesley Snipes did an amazing job with that. Matter of fact, he's the reason why there is a Marvel to this day, because those movies literally saved Marvel from literally going out of business, right?
And Blade aged well.
Yeah, and the movies have Blade aged well, but he's like a vigilante, right? But with Black Panther, yeah, his character is more of a vigilante. I mean, he's hunting vampires.
I thought that was for a good cause.
I mean, it is, but it's not like he's working like with police. It's not like the same way they look at Superman as like a real superhero, whereas Batman's a superhero, but he's considered a vigilante superhero because he sometimes goes outside the law and outside the government to get things accomplished. Whereas with Black Panther, he's not only a superhero, he is government. He's the king. He's T'Challa. He's the king. So it was like he had the best of both worlds. He came from the most advanced civilization known in the comic book world at the time. He's smart. He's the king. He doesn't have this sad, somewhat superhero come up story. I mean, he's the king. He was a prince, became king. He's a superhero working on behalf of many African nations to make sure that they're not having their minerals and things stolen from him. His story is just all the way dope. And you can't say that we had a story like that until Chadwick Boseman playing the Black Panther, which was dope. And then he played everybody. He did James Brown. He got to be Thurgood Marshall, even though I always thought he was a tad too dark to play Thurgood Marshall.
He was dark to play, because Thurgood was like, he wasn't biracial, but my understanding is he was like,
I mean, he's a super light skinned dude.
No, from his lineage, my understanding is that he had two grandparents who were biracial.
Oh,
so that makes him.
Yeah. So, but he did a great job in the movie. I enjoyed him in the movie on Netflix, The Five Bloods. I'm a Spike Lee fan though, so I rock with it.
Enough for me.
I liked it. I liked the music.
It was confusing. It didn't make sense. People love Spike Lee, and I get it because he's a black, but he's not above reproach. He, as well as Tyler Perry, are critiqued. My thing with Spike Lee is that I get it being artistic, but I don't like playing jazz music for the sake of playing jazz music. Like, Spike Lee has scenes where it's like someone could be getting killed and he's playing jazz music. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I want Spike Lee to have movies, in my opinion, that just make sense. Some of his scenes just seem out of order. It's like, I don't even understand how we're jumping around. It's just too much.
So I wholeheartedly disagree, because we do that on the Nitty Gritty show. I definitely, emphatically disagree, and I do believe that time will tell the truth. And I think in time, what you will see with Spike Lee, unfortunately, I fear that he's going to get his flowers too late, or when it's too late, and you're going to see master classes. You're going to see whole acting, like schools of art, follow like what Spike Lee did. So I mean.
His best movie was Malcolm X because it wasn't so weird.
Yeah, but not losing thought. We're not talking Spike Lee. We're talking Chadwick Boseman. Shout out to him, and the fact that he used his last days to do his work, to see how emotional he got over kids that were suffering from cancer, to keep that to himself, to have to hold that by himself, or I don't know who all knew, but they kept that on the wraps. So for him to have gone through all of that, Chadwick Boseman is not just a fictional hero. He's a real life hero, and we should definitely celebrate him.
He got married too.
Yeah, I know he had got married. I don't know a whole lot about that, so I really can't speak too much on that. But all I know is that the man did great work in acting, and it seemed like in his personal life, as far as what he did for activism and the amazing words he spoke at the Howard commencement and various other forums, he seemed like a great guy. And that's all I can say about him. Now let's talk about a not so great guy and just another man who's just on the wrong side of justice, right? Got to get to this. So let's talk about Jacob Blake and Kyle Rittenhouse. Now this is interesting, right? Because normally when we have these situations, you have opposing police departments, right? So therefore, Some officers would say, well, that's not how we would do things. Others, can just be quiet in the background, whatever. But with Jacob Blake and Kyle Rittenhouse, all of this happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, right? So we see first, this is earlier in the week, we got Jacob Blake. What's coming out is that he was beating up these officers. Now, if you take the whole story, before he get to whooping them, I guess what happened is they was called there for a domestic. It wasn't a domestic that Jacob Blake was involved in. It was a separate domestic situation. I guess, now that we know everything that's going on, Jacob Blake had been in trouble before, but in this situation, they weren't coming for Jacob Blake. They was coming from another call. For some reason, they get to questioning him, but he's got his daughters inside the car. He's trying to get to where he's going, right?
No, not daughters, sons, all sons.
It was all sons. I'm sorry. He got his sons in the car. He's trying to get to where he's going, all right?
He broke up the fight between two women.
But that's what the police were called for, was the fighting between the two women, not him.
Right.
So he has nothing to do with it except trying to help preserve some peace.
Yeah, de-escalate.
So then the cops come and escalate with him, and it's like, why are you bothering him? You guys were called specifically for two women, so why are you bothering a man in any situation, right? So they get to messing with him. From people that seen the whole video, it's supposed to be him beating up the cops, all right? But even after that, the cops follow him around to his car. He gets inside the car, and what I've heard police officers say that are supporting this man being shot in the back is that, well, you never know. You have to be, you have to be aware, and he could have been reaching for a gun, and I'm an officer, and I know if I seen somebody where I can't see their hands, I might have to pull out a gun and shoot them too, because at that point, it's either me or them, right? Okay, I'm gonna let y'all have that. So where was all of this energy when you get calls that there's shots fired, you're in the vicinity, you can hear the shots fired, you see a white boy walk up with an AR-15. At no point did you say, oh my God, at that time, we got to be vigilant, we see a gun, so we had to draw down on him and blow his brains out. Nope, didn't do that with the white boy with an AR-15 strapped around his chest. You let him walk by as he waves to you. And you heard shots fired. Nothing in your detective mind said, wow, wait a minute, there's a guy with a gun. We're responding to shots that have been fired. Maybe we should take this dude out right here who has a whole gun. Because that's the energy you had, the same Kenosha, Wisconsin police, when an unarmed black man who whooped your behind because you harassed him for no reason, went into his car and you can see his hands. So, oh my God, I gotta shoot him. It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Can't nobody get on this show and explain to me how that duality makes sense in this world except for racism. And then we're supposed to feel upset because somebody's car dealership gets burned down, or they loot the Target, or they loot the Neiman Marcus, or they're breaking windows at the Macy's. People are upset, folks. And they've been having this same problem since 57 years ago from the initial march on Washington. And yes, if you're wondering or if you're confused, Juan, Jay DaCosta, Mr. DaCosta, J-Rock, however you know me, if you're like, are you upset? Damn right I'm upset. Because I'm getting tired of seeing this narrative on the news. So often, black man gets killed and y'all run his whole run sheet. Or in the event of a young man in his own home eating ice cream, well, we found a little weed in the house. That didn't justify y'all killing him. Some woman walking in the wrong room.
You mean the same weed where people have full-blown dispensaries here in the D to the C,
yeah,
and getting paid money? That kind of weed.
That weed, yeah.
The weed that they're growing plants here.
And look, and newsflash, folks, being a criminal doesn't justify death. We have a whole judicial system so that someone can have their day in court. And according to that judicial system, people are supposed to be innocent until proven without the shadow of a doubt guilty, right? But we don't do that. Meanwhile, oh man, we got all kind of comments. I've been missing all of them. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to get to y'all. Meanwhile, we got all kind of people just committing crimes and doing all kind of stuff, and if you look the right shade, you get away with it. This is a problem in society, and we have to do something about it. Let me read some comments because I missed a bunch of these. My bad. Kat, my mom was saying, Kat, you can sing. That's what's up. Elisa in the building. Shout out DC. Elisa said 42. Jackie Robinson mentioning some movies of Chadwick Boseman. Elisa said Felicia Rashad. Thank you, because I did say Oprah earlier. It was Felicia Rashad had reached out to Denzel Washington and asked him to pay for Chadwick Boseman to go to school. That's what's up. And then Elisa Seth is also agreeing with you. She says, I do not care for Spike Lee.
It's weird.
Mamie also echoing the sentiment, innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, like, folks, you guys gotta understand, police can't go. Lana, shout out KC in the building. We're talking, we talked about Chadwick Boseman, and right now we're talking
But the thing about Kyle...
I'm just catching her up. We're talking Kyle Rittenhouse and Jacob Blake.
The thing about Kyle is that his mama bought him the gun.
Yeah, so...
She technically is an accomplice.
She's an accomplice to the crime. She's going to be locked up too.
Because he killed 2 people and one is in critical condition.
And I want to say he came from Illinois into Wisconsin to do the stuff he did. And here's the thing.
His mama bought him the gun, y'all.
His mama bought him the gun, but then they want to... So, and like I was saying before, whenever it's a black man, they want to give the whole run sheet. When it was Trayvon Martin, they want to find the one picture of him on Facebook throwing up the middle finger. When it was Mike Brown, who, mind you, he's died with his hands up here, right? They shot him down. Then they want to bring up, well, he harassed somebody at the convenience store. And guess what? I seen the video. It looked like he did jack that guy up. Send him to jail. My
question nationally is, why can't police get rubber bullets?
Well, they're not going to do that because in the event that they're getting shot at with real bullets, the justification is they need that. Typically, rubber bullets are for crowd control. Now, I would go to the fact that why do they need guns? Because obviously, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and the UK can all manage the police effectively without their regular street patrol officers having guns. Lana said, listen, as much as I want Cal to be charged and convicted, he won't be, let's be honest. And you know what, Lana? You're probably correct. Because this is what they do.
Not?
No, and I was trying to go to this. This is the statement I was trying to make before. The court of public opinion always seeks to destroy black men and tries to find sympathy for white people that commit crimes. Prime example, what I was talking about before. Look at what they did with Trayvon Martin. They tried to paint him as a gangster. They tried to do the same thing with Oscar Grant. They effed up with Philando Castile. They couldn't find anything wrong with that brother. He was loved by his whole community. He was a janitor at the school. Even the principal had glowing remarks. Showed up to the funeral. Like, they really messed up with him. And he did everything right. He did absolutely everything right. The guy pulls him over. Hey, officer, just got to let you know, full disclosure, I'm licensed to carry, but there is a weapon in the car. And it's allowed to be there under the guise of the law. He did everything right. And the dude still, you see the video, he hauls off and shoots him. What the heck for? If you that much of a punk, or another P word that I'd rather say right now, don't be an officer.
It's so weird because he was grabbing his t-shirt, so he couldn't have been that scared because he did like this. If you scared, how you grabbing somebody's t-shirt? My
thing is this. Y'all so quick to shoot folks, but then let somebody go up into Emmanuel AME and shoot up a bunch of praying black folks. Let somebody be in Aurora, Colorado, dressed up like the Joker and shoot up a whole screen for the Black Knight. Let somebody go up into Sandy Hook and shoot some people. Let somebody be up there in Kenosha, Washington, busting the AR-15. And y'all can see that person who has already committed mass murder, who already has the intent, he's done it. He has the ability, he's done it. Y'all can see the weapon and y'all don't manage to kill them, but you can take Dylan Roof to freaking Burger King? But then Jacob Blake, Sandra Bland, countless Freddie Gray, countless others got to be dead. Eric Gardner. Like, it's too many darn names to name it, let's be honest. And I've seen this particular flyer up, or these protest signs at the March on Washington this past Saturday. Countless others don't have video. And you know what they do to justify the ones with no video? They just find the most negative thing they can about their past to somehow justify that the police playing executioner, jury, and judge all at once. That's not right. No. It's not right. And then just to keep in mind, Sandy Hook, Aurora, Colorado, all those situations, those are white people that died. And black people were still outraged. Because why is these white people allowed to kill people in general, black or white, and then nothing happens? White people who are watching this, at this point, it's not even a black-white thing. It's just a wrong or right thing. How can you allow this to happen and you not be upset? How can you not have the same frustration I have that somebody could possibly walk in your kid's school? Because let's be honest, a lot of these killings happen in prominent white neighborhoods. Do you not fear that you could lose your child's life because some ignorant white kid could walk in there and kill everybody and you won't get justice for your child who is now dead, lying 6 feet under because of the color of that person's skin? You really feel sorry for that kid that will kill your child? How can you? America, please talk to me. I'm beyond frustrated this week. Beyond. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Let me read some comments. Actually, I'll let you read them. You got your glasses on.
No, go ahead.
All right, so Lana said those countries believe in each other and care about each other. That's why they don't need guns. Good point. Lana said, listen, as much as oh no, I read that one already. Then she said, he's black, nothing else. Telling black people to comply is the opposite of the problem. Facts. Lana also, yes, they can see him as human, as a person. It's infuriating and the truth. Then Raphael Harden, shout out Raphael. I know. Oh yeah, congratulations to your new baby, sir. I know I said congratulations on social media already, but since you're here on the Nitty Gritty Show, congratulations, sir, on your new child. You and Bonnie, blessings to you both. And then Lana, once again, she said, we don't get it, and black folks are tired of getting it. Mamie said also, no, I do not feel sorry. And I guess at some point, you know, I'm just getting tired of being a black man. And everyone says, you know, you should, you know, reason and you should understand. And why aren't you condemning the violence and protesting? It's like, wait a minute. And I had this conversation with a pastor recently online. And he was a black pastor. And I wish I remembered his name because I would shout you out for all your ignorance right now. But I can't remember your name. So maybe God is protecting you after all. But I had this conversation with him. And he's like, well, you don't speak out against, you know, BLM is a terrorist organization. They got a whole website. BLM is not a terrorist organization. Black Lives Matter only cares about having equity across technically all lives. But since there's such a problem or a deficit into how we're paid and how we're treated, even the loan rates are significantly higher. There was a story we just put on Facebook, how an interracial couple, when they removed all the things that signified that there was any black presence in their house, they had almost, what, $80,000 influx in how the house was appraised when it just showed the white husband and they removed all things showing black. There is so much proof and evidence to how black people are treated, but somehow we have to be the bigger of the situation. We have to be understanding. We have to forgive. We have to remember our Christian roots. But meanwhile, America's running around saying this is a Christian country. But I don't see none of these Democrats or Republicans, because no, I got no party picks over here. I don't see them doing anything to legislate actual change. And we need to legislate actual change. Yo, shout out Greg Matthew. I see you, brother. Let me read some more comments. Lana said, but I see Portland and asked, where are we? My answer in the house. Lana McKinley also, again, she said, I'm not condemning especially riots. It's not my job to condemn because racism is a white problem. Amen to that. I can't speak any better. Kat, any more thoughts on Jacob Blake, Cal Rittenhouse? I'm fired up, so I'm probably over talking today, y'all. And I apologize to all my brothers and sisters that I seem so angry, and I have to be the stereotypical angry black man right now. But at this point, the proverbial fecal matter has elevated to the oscillating rotary device. Yes, that means the ish has hit the fan, and I'm pissed off. And I can't try to hide it and placate it for the sake of a platform because I don't want to offend some of my listeners. I'm annoyed right now. I'm truly upset. And 57 years ago was the first march on Washington. It's 2020. I'm 36 years old, and I'll be damned if my grandkids or my kids gonna be up here marching to Washington, D.C. for the same crap we've been marching for. I need legislative change. And if Joe Biden and Kamala get elected and they don't do something in their first 4 years, Slim, they will not get another 4 years. I'll vote for a Republican for somebody who might try. If we can get a decent Republican candidate, you best believe I'll vote for him. But yes.
Or her.
Or her. Because, like, once again, I don't care what party you represent. If you can get in office and make legislative change in your first 4 years, I'll give you another 4. But you won't get another one just because you're supposed to be the party of black people. I'm not even rocking with that these days. I'm not. Thoughts, baby? Thoughts, baby? I know you got thoughts.
Well, I have thoughts, but I forgot what I was going to say. But your mom said you were definitely fired up.
I like that. Greg also over her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Kamala and
I
get it
think
done.
it's time for a woman to lead. The reason being is that, in my opinion, women tend to think more about the details than men do. Men typically are big picture. So the details of how can we have equality, I think we might find refuge in that of the mindset of a woman. Elizabeth Warren was a great candidate, but you know, she was older and she didn't get the same support. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why, I mean, folks, when we have stuff going on like this, that's why it's important to vote. And I know a lot of you that might watch this later be like, hey, you know, man, stop all that punk stuff. Because you know what? You can still meet your sheriff. You can still meet your commissioner, your county commissioner, your mayor, your councilman, right? Your alderman, depending on where you live. There are so many various facets. School board, education, all of that. You should be going out here meeting these people and voting based off your interests, not off their party, because depending on where you live, the Republican might be the better vote, y'all. In some places, the Democrat is the better vote. And that means you may be a conservative, Bible-beaten Christian, and guess what? The Democrat might be the guy you need to vote for, because he may represent more so of God's principles than that Republican, right? And then it goes vice versa. You may be ultra-liberal, you may be super progressive, and guess what? There may be some Republican out there that may help legislate your ideals better than the Democrat who's been sitting there for the last 25 years, not doing anything but playing a saxophone and carrying some hot sauce to placate your racist, your black culture, right? Because that's a racist thought for them to think that's all they have to do to get your vote. Read some more comments. Yeah, I'm a little annoyed today, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm worked up. Lana, I see. Shout out. She says, shout out to Kat for being calm. Also, Juan, don't apologize for being human and expressing emotion because of stereotypes. Thank you, my sister. I love you, my sister. Lana, once again, she said, if you want something done, ask a woman biased. Hey, women, y'all get things done. We not even going to front like y'all ain't been holding it down. Alyssa, she said, it's past time for women to lead. I think men are more emotional and prideful. Pride cometh before the fall. That's true. And y'all seeing all of my pride and all of my emotion today. And look at Kat sitting here chilling. Mamie, you have the right to be upset. You should not be seeing this at this time in our world. Amen to that. Herman said, how can people talk about Black Lives Matter being a terrorist organization and you have the Ku Klux Klan that lynched and killed black people for years in this country? Who has BLM lynched lately? And also, that's a good question too, because when you see all the violence that happens, you don't see BLM claiming these people as their own. They can never identify any other people that actually starts the fires. For instance, in the fire that was started at the courthouse in Nashville, that was a white guy who didn't identify with Black Lives Matter. And a lot of times the actual physical evidence we have on camera where we see people committing crimes, we got white people right next to them, but people try to act as if Black Lives Matter is a black organization that are a bunch of black terrorists. But every time we actually take a deep dive into who's committing the violence, a lot of times there are people who are infiltrating our space and then they're acting out whatever purge desires laden in their heart, but they have nothing to do with the cause. Raphael, shout out Raphael. I had the same type of conversation the other day, and we got to keep having these conversations. Herman, shout out Clarksville, he said, I have no faith in either party right now. And how can you? Honestly, what has either party really done to the core issues of the things we're dealing with? Even Obama will have that blemish on his record of what things could you have done further directly towards inequality when it comes to color, right? Now, don't get me wrong, he did a lot of great things in office, a lot of the coalitions he assigned us to. When you look at what he tried to do for the Affordable Health Care Act, right? Things of that nature, an amazing job. But a pointed black response, I mean, he did hold my brother's keeper, and he is involved with that, with Steve. But I mean, like real legislation, even Obama does, he can't even tout that, if we're just being honest, right? Lana said, it's white violence. I'm going to keep saying, that's right. What's up with all this white on white crime? Lana said, white people are mad at each other, at other white people because they don't agree with them. And that's right. And they're killing them, Lana. I.e. Cal Rittenhouse. He killed 2 white men. Y'all got to understand. We're upset. The black community is upset about Cal Rittenhouse. Y'all do realize he didn't kill 2 black people. Because we don't have a preference towards violence. We don't agree with violence. Matter of fact, part of the reason why the 1992 or 1994 crime bill went into effect is because you had prominent members of the Congressional Black Caucus that got behind it. You had prominent members within the black church community get behind it at the local level. Because at the time, our streets were riddled with bullets because of gang violence, right? And drug violence. So black people are the ones that said, yo, we need to be tougher on crime. We actually made that call ourselves throughout the 80s and the early 90s. Now, the ramification of how we interpret those laws haven't benefited black people. We've seen that on the other side of it. But let's not be confused with the fact that black people don't like violence, period. And we've always speaking out on violence, whether it's towards us directly or if it's towards those members of society that don't deserve it, i.e. Charlottesville. That white girl died when that guy rolled through those protesters. We were upset for that young lady that lost her life. So I just don't understand why they try to pigeonhole us into we're just angry black people, and whenever it's a black issue, you get upset. No, we're pissed off about Kyle Rittenhouse. You got to understand that. Lana, once again, she said, image is on the line, emotion and power, revenge, status quo is on the ballot, nothing else. And I think, you know, I can't say it much more than how many times I said it already. That's why we got to vote, because we got a lot at stake. A lot at stake. Thoughts, Kat?
I think you said everything that
My bad.
I was going to say. I mean, I don't really have much to add. I'm tired, but being that I'm tired, I'm not going to stop. But at the same time, I don't really know how else we can make it clear to the United States of America that we are tired of being treated like second-class citizens. You know, I don't know how else we can make it clear. History has shown time and time again that we have not been respected. You know, everybody loves black culture, but they don't like black people. So I don't know how else we can make it clear. We're just tired of it. We have been waiting for the American dream since our ancestors were brought here in captivity, and we have yet to see it actualized.
And that's like beyond sad. Like, I just don't understand why it's literally taking so long to like get some justice here. It's like people just don't care, and I just don't get it. And we'll move along. We got about 18 minutes left, so we can finish out this last part of the conversation. And I think, you know, with all this being said, right, this leads to what happened this past Saturday. I was happy to report that I was there on behalf of the Nitty Gritty Show. Friday. I keep on saying Saturday. My bad. It was Friday, right? And I'm blessed enough that I have an employer that actually I got volunteer hours for being out there. We actually had like a sign up where I work at, so that was cool. And shout out to my manager. He was out there as well, John Medlock. He actually volunteered out there as well, so I think that's pretty cool. So March in Washington was Friday. You know, if you missed it, I understand, because you know COVID is going on. People can't travel, but even with that, there were hundreds of thousands of people out there easily. I mean, there was folks everywhere, and I was happy to report that it wasn't just like this black affair. There was a lot of other races out there. There was a lot of white people out there.
There are some people who are tired.
And I'm talking about some of the most fired up people, believe it or not, out there were some of the white women that were out there. So like, that was dope. And it was nice to see them out there. Well, hey, I don't care why they out there supporting, but look, they was out shade. That was super shade. But they was out there supporting, and I supported it, and I was all for it. Shout out to my pastor, Pastor Watley, who was out there speaking on behalf. I think he spoke around 9 o'clock that morning. It was a long day. There were people that got out there Thursday night and were literally out there until its conclusion, marching from they marched from the Lincoln Memorial. Kind of went down Constitution Avenue, spanned around, and went back towards the White House. Hey, and I was happy to be there, participating in the march, and was able to march the full way. I'll put out some more video and kind of like a collage of some of the things that we saw out there. It was amazing. Got to see BB Winans sing and perform. Got to hear from Kamala Harris. We got to hear from multiple members of the various families, or at least known families, of some of the police violence we faced. Attorney Benjamin Crump was out there. We actually had one of the young ladies from the Parkland shooting.
I have a question about him.
Mm-hmm.
I love Benjamin Crump. Let me preface this. But what case has he actually won? Because every time there is a shooting, he conveniently is the lawyer. But no, I'm trying to be rude or funny. But what case has he won?
So I think that's two parts. I mean, there is a point where I guess people might question, like, well, how good are you if you haven't won? No, I'm just saying, stating a factual thing. But then also you have to understand, like, the uphill battle of what that is.
I get it.
Because think about it, like, even if you, and I hate referring to movies, I really do, because I don't consider that like.
Look, Alana said Ben Crump side. My thing is, I like him. I don't want to judge him. You're right. There is an uphill battle, but every time he's been the lawyer since I want to say Trayvon Martin, and to date I have not heard of him winning a case. So what makes these families go with Benjamin Crump? Is it because he's offering services for free? Because my thing is, I'm sure there could be another lawyer possibly who will offer same services for free who might get them justice before him.
Mm-hmm. Let me read some comments. I didn't realize we had so many of them. Herman, I have no problem with the women being in charge. Amen to that. Lana, image is on the line. Emotion and power. Revenge status quo is on the ballot. Nothing else. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I read that. Lana also says, she's like, and you better believe Trump supporters will be out there. Facts. Referring to voting. Then you had Herman said there are white folks in this country that are wanting to start a civil war in this country. That's facts.
Sure,
I mean, like, there's people ready to pull the guns out, and that is not a joke. Lana says, shout out to the March on Washington for jobs and freedom. That's what's up. Also, Mamie said, awesome kudos to your boss. Herman, not surprised that the right-wing contingent are in the streets causing chaos and havoc. Yep. Mamie, all white people are not ignorant. They see the wrongdoing that's going on in America. That's true. Then you talked about the big Crump side eye from Lana. Lana said, plus I met him in person. Oh, that's an interesting perspective. I would like to hear more.
We met him in person too. I met him in person too.
I think you met him. I didn't know.
At the Congressional Black Caucus.
You met him at Congressional Black Caucus. Yeah. I didn't meet him there. Herman said, good question, Kat. Lana, the Jefferson case was won, but not by him.
Everybody keeps saying good question, Kat.
Yeah.
He's always
Raphael saying good question.
No, because he's always conveniently the lawyer for when black guys are getting shot. But what has he won? Crump has won with the 200 police violence cases. Okay, well,
I don't think none of the televised cases or the more prominent ones he's won. But, or at least I can't recall to one that he may have won. But he does have a winning record.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
But they might be arming themselves more so now against him now that his name is out there.
That's true. But the one case that I feel like he should have won easily was the Trayvon Martin one. I, to the love of God, have no idea how Zuckerberg got off. I have no idea. Not Zuckerberg. What is his name? Starts with a Z.
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman got off.
Zimmerman.
I thought that should have been a clear win. Clear.
And Lana was saying that I was at the Hilton Hotel in South Carolina and had dinner. Very interesting conversation. Interesting.
Oh, you had dinner with the dude.
Same night I met Jim Clyburn and the South Carolina state legislators. Oh, okay, so you got the inside scoop for real.
So Lana, you out here really that chick.
Yeah.
You really that girl, huh?
Yeah, she got the inside scoop for real. But look.
Yes, Zimmerman, thank you.
People understand. People are wondering, like why they marching Washington? Why y'all still marching? So if I say why are we still marching, at this point it will just be because we've been marching for the last 57 years. Why are we still marching? Why aren't we doing more rioting, destroying, and
She said it was
Florida Zimmerman. Yeah. So
here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, and then I'm off my soapbox. For the black folks that are, why are you still marching? If energy goes, energy flows. I have told you guys this time and time again. You have to stop those kind of ignorant statements and that kind of narrative, because the thing is, just because it's not on your doorstep does not mean you don't have a responsibility to not care. We are so selfish as Americans. We really are. We always think about me, my house, my money, that's on their doorstep. I don't get involved with somebody else. I mind my business. Being a black American is your business, okay? People dying in the streets, it is your business. People who are homeless, it is your business. People who are poor, it is your business. People who can't get jobs, it is your business. Stop all of this. It's all about me, me, me. God did not put you on this earth to be all about me, me, me. I mean, come on, have some moral, okay? Have some decency to think about somebody else other than your daggone self. It is your business.
Raphael said cat for president.
I'm just saying, it just bothers me greatly when people are so dismissive, and you think less than 50 years, your grandparents were able to get lynched and there was no justice. So that is your business. It's ignorance at best. Put down the daggone weed, clear your brain cells out, and pay attention to what the heck is going on. Vote. Know who the heck your daggone governor is. All this extra, well, I'm just out here, it's a vibe. It's a vibe to know what the heck is going on. Get your life.
Darn right. Shout out Greg, he said it's about us 100%. I feel you. And this is some things to understand why we have to keep on marching and why we have to be proactive in our activism. We are still being lynched. We're still in prison at a higher rate than any other demographic. We are still the lowest compensated segment in America and have many obstacles created within the system that keep us from sharing in economic growth. People could go out here and do the right thing, and you still may pay more for your mortgage than the next person. You still have a hard time getting qualified for loans than people that don't look like you. Not because there's anything on your credit report or your job history that's really amiss. It's just that they see the color of your skin and they create a bias in their head. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to try not to get worked up like I did earlier when I told you. But I was on my way to the march. I get off at Smithsonian, right? There's a guy there representing the Workers' Party or something like that. And I'm familiar with them because I've seen them aspire to a lot of the things that Malcolm X said in the Black Panther Party movement. But the guy tells me, now mind you, the way I'm dressed at the time, I got on a black and gold, you know what that's about. I got on a black and gold shirt with a fist on it. I have my camera on me. I have like a little pouch that I'm wearing across my chest because I got my little sanitizer in there. I got my mask. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to. At the time, my mask is down because I'm like out in the open. I'm on the National Mall. And I wanted some fresh breath because I had just hopped off the train. So I walk past.
What does that detail have to do with it?
Yeah, because I want people to know that I'm not being irresponsible with the mask, all right? So anyways, I walk past. The white guy comes over and says, hey, check out this Workers' Party stuff. And then he hands me the form and he goes into like, yeah, man, you guys need a better strategy than throwing bricks through the Macy's and burning up stuff. And, you should know that you need to vote and you need to understand how to organize. Now, he goes into all this. He didn't ask me my name. He don't know the first thing about me. And if he did know, he wouldn't have assumed any of the things about me. First of all, I didn't fought for my country, right? I joined the military. I'm a whole vet out here, right? I ain't throwing no bricks through no windows. I participated in a bunch of protests and a bunch of marches, but never once have I ever been responsible for destroying any public property, and nor do I actually condone it. I'm probably not going to condemn those individuals that do because I understand their frustration, but me personally, I would never promote that we should do that. You understand? And for him to make this assumption, now, mind you, he's supposed to be one of the more progressive, forward-thinking white people because he's there at the March on Washington. But he still had this biased assumption that somehow I was going to throw a brick through the window and I think that's what we're supposed to be about. Or assuming that the masses of the people who were there at the March on Washington are about that. If those folks were about that, they would have waited till nighttime to protest. They're there early in the morning during the light of day where they can be seen and they're just voicing their opinion. For someone to assume I'm going to cause violence, I was truly upset. Very upset. Because it's like, why would you assume I'm going to come out here and start some trouble?
Because he's ignorant. There's one charge of action I want to put before we close, because we're at our moment. For all the other minority groups who come over here and they think to themselves, well, I'm not going to get involved with white and black political and racial war. I got my little corner store here. I sell hot Cheetos at the corner store. I own the gas station. Stop being complacent in what you believe is a black and white issue. This issue stems back and is discriminatory against you as well. The thing that pisses me off the most about other minorities is that for a fact black people have paved the way for everybody here. We built this country. You are here because of black people. So when you see things that are happening to us, stop calling the cops and policing us. At the end of the day, you have businesses in black communities. So take the opportunity to get to know the community members. It's not like we don't want our own businesses in black communities. It's that we're being denied that. But you come here, you come here running from poverty and other kind of you know, systematic issues in your own country, and then you come here and you still perpetuate it on black people because you think, well, you know, white people don't like them, so you want to, you know, acquiesce to whatever caste system that they've put on us, and then you want to benefit from it. All I'm saying is that if you, as an American, it doesn't matter your race, if you as an American do not understand the issues that black Americans have faced for a century, you really and truly are just, I don't even know what to say at this point. I can't call you an American. Okay? Don't sit complacent and watch another fellow human being die because of the color of their skin. Weren't y'all running away from your country when you had the caste system because you were darker? You should know what it feels like from discrimination. And you should be right there on the front lines with us.
We got a lot of comments. We got a lot of people saying to vote. Shout out Herman for saying to vote. Shout out Raphael for saying that we need to vote at every level. Lana's agreeing with you, saying, yes, Kat, you can move past survival if you see problems are shared. Exactly. Greg also agreeing about compensation. Mamie said, you're absolutely right, Kat. It's our business. It's everybody's business to have an active part in government. Lana saying that we should have got 5 fingers to the face like Rick James. Lana said, shout out to me for having any composure. That's what's up. Raphael just actually reminded us of the fact that we built this stuff for free. For free. Also, Herman saying that is why we can't have white folks do the thinking for us. Let's stand up for our own issues. I agree with all of that, and amen to all of that. We're near the end.
Y'all share the video with your friends. Yeah. They can comment too. Shout us out.
Also, we still have clothes available on squadlocker.com. If you go to www.squadlocker.com, and then in the search you type in The Nitty Gritty Show. You gotta type in the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. The Nitty Gritty Show. You can see some of our merch. We have stuff from Rydell. We have stuff from Under Armour. We got stuff from Adidas as well. Some really cool like shirts, polos, even some pullovers. You know, it's about to get cooler outside.
Or if people like a mug, let us know.
Yep. So yeah, we gotta give a shout out to that. Too. If you're not aware, we do have the soapbox segment available now. So check out the soapbox. Elisa, we gotta get you on for the soapbox. Holler at me after the show or reach out to Kat so we can schedule time, get you on the soapbox. You definitely should be participating in that. Right. And before we go, let me throw out some shout outs. Also, I want to shout out my niece Lauren. She just had her birthday this past weekend.
Happy birthday to you. To you.
Go ahead and sing it.
Happy. You must be let me
name all the birthdays then first. Shout out to Craig Graham. Shout out to Victor Brown, right? One of our fellow church brothers. Shout out to Vicky Sutherland. Shout out to Lance Miller. Shout out to Dwayne Stewart. Shout out to my homeboy Loon. Just had his birthday. Shout out to my cousin Joe Thompson. Shout out to my man Benny Black, my favorite host over there at Busboys and Poets on Friday Night Live. Once this whole thing is over and we can get back into Busboys, you best believe I got some poetry for you, my brother. Also, he's the owner of Rebel Fitness. Shout out to my homeboy DJ Liquid. And then also shout out to my homeboy Mitch Holmes. All right. Let me show out my homeboy Ernest, because I'll probably forget about it if I don't do it next week. His birthday's on Tuesday. So shout out to my homie Ernest. His birthday's coming up. If I missed any birthdays or anniversaries, let me know. And then Jasmine just celebrated her birthday. I said it out last week though. But yeah, I know that I was still celebrating again even this past weekend. So shout out to you. I'm gonna end with a little bit of a bop. I wanted to play this because I saw this on a tribute video to Chadwick Boseman. I can't not forget to shout out to the Boseman family for this incredible loss we are suffering, and actually all of the nation that looked up to him. This is something that I think we've all lost a brother, a cousin, an uncle. So this right here is Beyonce, "Find Your Way Back" off the Lion King, The Gift album. And yeah, this is for Chadwick. And wherever he is right now, I'm hoping he's looking down, knowing that the fight didn't stop with his death. This is somebody that really did this thing while he was here, and I'm happy that he did get some of his flowers while he was still here. Look, it's your boy J.D. Costa, and together we are the Nitty Gritty. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for minding my temperament, as I am truly upset by the things going on in our nation. But we gotta keep fighting. This is a good song. I could decide between this or the one that they played and the other one. I might go. To be with you, not because of Beyonce. Look, y'all, we out. We love y'all.